Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 13 of my TCW series on TEW 2016. Now, today's episode, of course, we've got the big World Heavyweight title #1 contenders match in the main event tonight. Rocky Golden will be taking on Sammy back for the chance to face Aaron Andrews at the next pay-per-view. And I think it might be our best match of the series so far. Purely for the fact that both of these guys are really good. Both of them are really over. Obviously, Rocky's got A popularity. I think Sammy Back has B popularity. But I think they match up really well. It is face versus face, but that shouldn't really penalise the match too much, I would think. But yeah, overall, I'm really looking forward to this show. So let's get things underway with our pre-show match. 8-man tag, getting a 69C+. In a decent pre-show match, Brian Vesey, Freddie Huggins, Troy Tornado, and American Buffalo defeated Bart Biggins, Bulldozer Brandon Smith, Sid Collier, and Matt Hocking in 9:42, when Brian Vesey defeated Matt Hocking by pinfall with a Super Vesey Plex. No worker improvements, moving on to the main show. We start off with a 67C+, bit of a tune-up match for Mark Speed. In a bout that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, Mark Speed defeated Cameron Jones in 9:25 by submission with a cross arm breaker. Yeah, not a bad little match to open the show, and obviously Cameron Jones getting some TV exposure there as well. We then go into a 92A Menace promo. Can't speak today. Menace promo for the Behemoths. You know, typical sort of thing that they've got another bit of a squash match up next. It's a bit of a long squash, I guess. I purely want to push their matches out so they can get some more stamina, but I'm not sure if that'll actually do anything. But yeah, the match itself does pretty badly, as you'd sort of expect. A 50D+. In a bout that had subpar wrestling and little heat, the Behemoths defeated Ben Williams and Quentin Queen in 8:29, when Killer Shark defeated Quentin Queen by pinfall with a big bite. And then we had Titan head and shoulders above everybody else. Ben Williams getting a 24 there. Really bad. We then move into a 77B rated match. This was sort of a nothing match as well. In a decent match, Eddie Peak defeated Dazzling Dave Diamond in 9:36 by pinfall with a peak of perfection. And we have both of them improving. Eddie Peak improves in performance skills, and then we have Triple D improving in rumble skills. We then go into a 76B- freestyle angle. Basically, Aaron Andrews says that he's been impressed by New Legacy, of course, Jay Cord and Greg Gage, and he recognizes their bright futures that they have ahead of them. You know, he's pretty young himself, and he's seeing some, real good potential in both Jay Cord and Greg Gage. And he's actually going to be teaming up with them in a 6-man tag up next, which does pretty well, 76B-, which I think is good considering who they're versing. In a bout that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, Aaron Andrews and New Legacy defeated Flying Jimmy Fox, Elliot Thomas, and Mr. Lucha 3 in 10 minutes 2 seconds, when Greg Gage defeated Elliot Thomas by submission with the Proton Lock. Couple of work improvements here. Aaron Andrews in rumble skills and Elliot Thomas in performance. So yeah, a nice little victory there for the cocky youth heel team that we have in the company at the moment. You know, New Legacy, I see them doing really well within this first year in the series. We then go into an 83B+, another freestyle angle. This one we have Wolf Hawkins. Basically, he says that tonight he's going to be teaching Benny Benson a lesson on how to wrestle like a winner, i.e. himself. And of course, Benny Benson, he's been on the end of quite a few losses in TCW since the start of the series. 83B+ for that angle. We then go into their match, which gets an 81B. I would say it's a very solid rating. In a bout that had great wrestling and good heat, Wolf Hawkins defeated Benny Benson in 1945 by pinfall with a full moon rising. And yeah, these two are in a storyline, although I think we have a third member for Wolf Hawkins to verse, and I think that guy will be his opponent at the pay-per-view. Anyway, moving forward to a 100 A-star promo. I think that's our high. Have we gotten 100 before? I'm not 100% sure if we've gotten 100 before, but I think that's pretty good. And Rocky's cutting a promo, of course, hyping up the main event match against Sammy back. Basically just, giving Sammy a lot of credit. He's a main event star in the company, as is Rocky Golden. But Rocky says that he's got a tremendous amount of respect, and he knows that tonight is going to be one of the hardest matches of his career, trying to become that number one contender. The match itself, okay, I thought it might have done a bit better than that, actually. I thought it could have been our highest ever rating, but an 85B+ it's good enough for a TV show. In about that had fantastic heat and great wrestling. Rocky Golden defeated Sammy back in 25-27 by pinfall with a Rocky Road, following interference from Brian Vesey. He's done it again. Brian Vesey essentially screwing Sammy back out of a world heavyweight title shot. So they will be versing each other. Actually, we'll pre-book it in on the next TV show. Because there's a little bit more to unfold between these two. We do have one more angle. Another 100 A-star, this time coming from Aaron Andrews cutting a promo. And of course, he's hyping the match. He will be taking on Rocky Golden. And of course, Rocky getting another match, another rematch essentially, against the man that's, took his title, albeit not pinning him for it in the first place. We'll get this one booked in again. Of course, bit of a repeat sort of rivalry from the first pay-per-view that we had, and I've gone past his name. Where are we at? Rocky. There he is. Okay. So we'll get that one booked in for the World Heavyweight title. It's going to be a bloody good match because Aaron Andrews is really over. As you can see, getting the 100 A-star. He's improving nicely, and I think he's doing well as the World Heavyweight Champion. I was a little bit skeptical at first, but I think he is our top heel. I think he might have overtaken Wolf in terms of popularity, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, let's end the show. Overall show rating gets a 75B-. It's same old really. Until we drop down a cult. We're going to be penalised pretty massively all the time. Anyway, the show did increase our popularity in the 7 regions of Canada. And again, it did lose us popularity in the 11 regions of the USA. As you would expect, because we couldn't really repeat our performance from last week in terms of the TV, as we got an A for the main event match. Of course, we've got the emails here. That's a one-night only thing. TV rating gets a 6.99. So close to that 7. Very close, but it's a good rating. And as you can see, I think the TV ratings are getting better and better. Probably due to the fact that our popularity might have increased. Yeah, it has. It's gone up to a 60C in Canada, which is great. I think we started off on 58, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 58, and we're up to 60 within 3 months. So I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously, we need to branch out into new markets. I think Mexico is probably the logical place to go next. I might go for a second TV show. We could bring back... they used to have a second show here, as you can see. Saturday Night Showcase. I'm thinking about bringing that back. As you can see, it is an A show. And I'm possibly thinking about having that on maybe one of these Mexican/American broadcasting channels. If we go here and we filter to Mexico, as you can see, there are a couple that have, as you can see, coverage in both, USA is small, but it has big in Mexico. And as you can see, as a national company, we could essentially get straight onto this network, Canal Uno. So that might be something that we really look at, because a second TV show, we already have our main TV show with coverage in Canada. We could, of course, get coverage in Mexico big coverage as well. And essentially, we've only got this option while we're national. And of course, we're super, super close to dropping down to cult, as I mentioned very recently. As you can see, we're still at 65 importance. And if one of these drop from the popularity drop, essentially we'll be back down to cult. And we won't have as good an opportunity to get a TV show with coverage in Mexico. Anyway, something for me to think about going into the next episode. Obviously, I'll make my decision at some stage after this episode. But yeah, just wanted to say thank you very much for watching. If you could drop a like on this video, it'd be much appreciated, guys. Subscribe to the channel as well. Of course, very close to 1K subs. And yeah, apart from that, take it easy and goodbye, guys.